Coming up on Network Africa, an attack on a Yemen migrant boat kills at least 31 Somalis. Nigerians face fresh xenophobic attacks in South Africa. And Zimbabwe hopes tobacco sales will ease dollar crunch. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Temitope Fagbemi. The United Nations says at least 31 Somali refugees have been killed in a helicopter gunship strike on a migrant boat off Yemen. The UN Refugee Agency says a number of refugees were killed, including some Somalis who were carrying UN documents. Women and children were reportedly among the dead. The refugees were on their way from Yemen to Sudan when they were attacked by an Apache helicopter near the Bab al-Mandeb Strait. It is not clear who carried out the attack. The port is controlled by Houthi rebels who are fighting a Saudi-led coalition in Yemen's two-year war. The Cameroonian government says West African forces have freed 5,000 people being held in villages by Boko Haram in an operation that killed more than 60 fighters and destroyed the Islamist group's hideout along the Nigeria-Cameroon border. The first contingent of prisoners, many of them women and children, were brought together in Pulka in Cameroon, then put onto UN trucks and taken across the border to the Nigerian refugee camp of Banki. Boko Haram has been fighting since 2009 to try to establish an Islamic caliphate in the Lake Chad region where Nigeria, Cameroon, Niger and Chad join. A coordinated push by the militaries of the four nations has dismantled much of the territory Boko Haram once controlled. Meanwhile, military officials from Nigeria and the United Kingdom have promised to continue to build on existing synergy to improve its tactical operations. Officials of both countries who made the pledge at a meeting to mark the end of a week-long training on joint military planning in Abuja are optimistic that knowledge gathered will be put to sustained use.
The challenges we face today threaten the concrete existence of our dear nation. Fighting these challenges is a collective effort, and our success hinges on sound planning and synergy. It is premised on this that I'm particularly delighted that the course took place. I'm also happy to note that the objectives of the course, which among others included equipping the participants with the skills required for the integration of concepts in the planning stages of joint operations, were attained. It is not surprising to learn that the instructional periods provoked very fulfilling interactions among the participants on the best approaches to joint operational planning.
We've already conducted a training course at the back end of last year. We're doing this one now, and we're going to bring out a course later on in the year, and hopefully later on in the year we'll be able to do some training with some of the officers who are conducting the planning in the field, as it were. So I think that's the development, and this is part of an ongoing relationship that the UK has with Nigeria in providing assistance across a whole range of activities, from operational planning to tactical training.
Uganda's National Police spokesman Andrew Felix Kawesi has been shot dead at his home in the capital, Kampala. Police spokesman Emilian Kayima says he was killed along with a driver and a bodyguard. Forensic experts have started working at the scene of the fatal shooting, with the Minister for Security, Henry Tumukunde, saying that he was surprised at the brazen nature of the attack. There have been other killings of high-profile Ugandans in recent years. Last November, Major Sulaiman Kigundu was shot dead along with his bodyguard. And in March 2015, lawyer John Kagesi, who was prosecuting the 2010 Kampala bombing suspect, was also shot on the way home by armed men on a motorbike. The Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta has announced a ramping up of security in central counties affected by violence as pastoralists clash with landowners over grazing land. The local police are struggling to cope after a spate of killings and the destruction of property. Politicians have also been blamed for increasing the tension, but President Kenyatta says that the army will support the police in parts of Baringo, Elgeyo, Marakwet, Pokot, and Laikipia counties. Nigerian real estate agents in the Toffontein area of South Africa have come under attack from local residents who allege that they are hijacking their houses. Thankfully, the timely intervention of the police quelled the tension in the area. This comes in the same week that government-to-government talks have been taking place to stop xenophobic attacks on foreign nationals in South Africa. Our South Africa Bureau Chief, Betty Dibia, tells us more.
I promise you, this problem is going to continue.
Somebody did warn about this. He spoke too soon. The very next day, his prophecy came true.
They want all these estate agents that are actually implicated in house hijackings to vacate the area and do their businesses somewhere else. Because in all these hijacked houses that we've been to, we find that it's either the house has been turned to a brothel or the house is actually harboring the drug lords.
I'm not quite sure the Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs and that of Interior had boarded their flights out of South Africa on Wednesday when violence erupted here. This is Turfontein, south of Johannesburg, and this time the attacks were focused on the estate agents in this area, most of them Nigerians.
If you look at here, there's a lot of damages here where they are stoning us, using some illegal firearm. But Nigerians came in group and trying to protect ourselves.
Some of the real estate agents showed us relevant registration documents showing their businesses are legitimate.
To trade as an agent. It's not as if we fly by night. They say we are driving nice cars, we are wearing expensive clothes, getting married to their women. It's by God's grace. We work hard for it.
There were about 20 of us here on real estate and firms there. So they said that all Nigerian firms should close. They said that we are hijacking houses. What we do is that we go to the banks. Banks sometimes, when they can't be able to buy, maybe pay their bonds, they will take it from them and sell it back to the people who are interested. So we go to the auctions, we buy these houses, we resell it. So that's the business we do.
Some claim they were shot at and wounded. The streets seemed calm today, despite the fact that the peace meeting called at the Boyson police station didn't yield much.
When we had a meeting with them, I told them clearly, could you kindly identify one property that is being hijacked by a Nigerian? From that day till now, they've not identified any property. So these are mere allegations. I see this as a xenophobia and jealousy. That is what is happening. They want to put us out of business.
The South African employees caught in the middle of the fight are worried.
As a South African citizen, I was a bit disappointed of what happened. At least they should have in each and every company that is operating in our country, they should have verified before they take actions.
They are threatening to shut down the companies, and there is no employment in South Africa. And this is what is putting food on the table for us and for our children.
Government-to-government meetings have been going on this week to resolve the anti-foreigner activities, but obviously the peace message is yet to trickle down. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.